Yeah, first episode podcast.
Ew.
We're back, baby. Rico's getting set up. I decided to start the show knowing Rico would come through in the end.
Yes.
He does not have the punctuality of a Korean hotel operator.
No,
we
he
know
does
that.
not. Who also commits murder.
Similarities, because you know what I was doing as you texted angrily. I was
I didn't text
vacuuming.
angrily. I texted hilariously. What were you doing? Talking to Asians? I can't hear you because your mic's not near you. Idiot. He puts his microphone 10 feet away. Nope, it doesn't seem like it's working. Can't hear you. Not working,
Well, that
Rico.
is-
There we go. Now I can hear you. Now it's on. Now it's not. I
Forget about
don't know
it.
what's happening. It's going in and out. I think you're using your AirPods and not your actual microphone is the problem. Nope. We're just going to lip read for Rico. Well, what I was saying, we decided to start the show because I have been battling yet another cold, which is my life with two little kids.
He
And
battles them.
I battle them. And the thing is,
you're not a good battler. You seem to be losing the battle frequently.
I always lose the battle, but I win the war because I'm still alive. That's it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I am 97-0 so far against viruses.
and he does that for you, our fans of the FEP podcast.
Yeah, I'm like the Vietnamese against the Americans. I lose a lot of battles, but I'm gonna win the war.
Yeah,
So anyway,
that brings us to our second show.
yeah, true. But I've been being good. I haven't been drinking, pushing out his asshole for the podcast.
When an Irish person doesn't drink alcohol, their body deteriorates. I hope you know
Yeah.
that. So that's
yeah.
You need to start drinking again, and the more the merrier, as they say.
Well, whiskey, the nectar of life, man. Whiskey.
Oh,
vegan.
yeah.
I
mean, they named the drink after you guys, Jameson. You just have to drink it, in the morning.
It is my middle name is James, but I think it's true. It's like in Futurama, the robots have to drink alcohol to keep their batteries charged. That's the same with the Irish. But it's like I was not drinking. I'm like, I don't want to be sick. I got to recover. I hate being sick now with the kids. You said being sick used to be enjoyable because you're like, oh, just sit around and do nothing. And now it's miserable. Yes, Rico.
Drinking.
Rico, I can't. Oh, there you go.
Well,
Okay.
but
Now I can hear you. Go. Talk.
I don't want to anymore. You're just going to say you can't hear me. It's going to be a bit on the show, even though you can. Like, what?
What?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
Right?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Fuck you guys. You're just, when you say you haven't been drinking, do you mean since like Monday? Because it's when the Eagles
Yes.
played.
No,
So-
actually, I didn't drink Monday. I stayed home. I didn't drink Sunday. I didn't drink
Well,
Monday.
that's why Saquon dropped the pass, because you weren't.
I know. Don't even bring it up. It makes me fucking furious. Unbelievable. Penn State's own Saquon Barkley letting the whole nation of Eagles down. But I've come to the conclusion though. Yeah, I not drinking doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything to help your immune system. Just keep drinking. Keep doing everything. Keep doing all the things. It makes no difference whatsoever.
I don't know about that. I remember when I would get like
You're
a
gonna
sore
die
throat.
anyway.
I would get a sore throat in college, and it would last 2 months because every time
Well,
it would
that's
get
it.
it would get
You
better.
keep
I
putting
was
dicks
like,
down there eventually.
Yeah.
No, I kept
You
thinking it would scratch the tonsils.
Pe-
You
Penis
think the calluses
guano.
would build up on your throat after a while.
Maybe it was a herpes. I don't know.
It's like playing
Yeah.
guitar, Rico. Rico, you're still
I
too
know.
far from your fucking mic there. I can barely hear you.
And the mic sucks
Yeah.
that you sent me.
Much like the
You
wieners
can't have
that
it 20
disease do
feet
in
from your
college.
head. You have to be close to it.
Here, next to me.
It's still too far from you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else to do because this is where I always sit and I'm comfortable. I'm not going to move.
It's the
So-
dedication of the show that really comes through.
yeah.
All right. Anyway, so I have a very annoying thing that just happened to me. Been a frustrating evening. I go to put a pot away in my cabinets. There's a newly remodeled cabinetry. I put a pot on the shelf, and the shelf in the cabinet, it's a long, deep shelf. The shelf is like 5 feet long, maybe 4 feet long, deep.
It's pretty long.
It's pretty long. It's a deep, long shelf that goes into the corner of the cabinets. I put a big pot on it. Fucking thing falls down. And I'm like, God damn it. All the pots fall off. And I'm like, okay. I'm going to put the little nugget back in. You know, the little nuggets you put in there.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah,
hold them
yeah.
up. The little shelf
Right.
nuggets you put under the shelf. So I put the shelf nugget
Yeah.
back in there and I fix it. I put the shelf back up. I put the pot back on. I turn my back. Boom! Falls down again. I'm like, you motherfucker. All the pots fall down again. So I go in there. I put it on a different level. I replaced the little nugget. I'm like, this nugget must be broken. Why is the shelf falling down? Even if the pot is heavy, it doesn't make sense. It's braced by the nuggets on all four sides. Sure as shit, the shelf falls down again. Completely falls down, knocks all the little nuggets out. So before the show, I was ass deep in cabinets. Like, if you imagine if somebody crawled up a whale's ass, that's what I looked like. Crawling up a sphincter of a whale to fix my cabinet. And I got there. I adjusted all the little things, all the little nuggets, moved them up one little nugget level so that they wouldn't fall out fucking again. Wedging myself in there, my 6'3" body, to fix these fucking cabinet nuggets. So,
humble brag.
That was, yep, thank you. and fit enough to get under there, by the way. A fat man could not have fixed that specific problem with these nuggets.
So that was the payoff of the story.
Well, did you remedy the pegs? Were you able to?
I remedied it, but
when Kramer was hosting Newman on the Merv Griffin set, and and Newman was telling about his bunions, and he's like, "Well, we've officially hit rock bottom." That's what I thought during your story.
I'm sure people at home are nodding along, being like, "I hate that."
No one
we've all, we
100%.
Yeah, you wear out the hole of the peg, and then it wants to droop.
They shouldn't be worn out. They're new holes and new pegs. It's like a freshly trafficked prostitute. Brand new holes.
That hole got its
charge
money's worth. Yeah,
whole kitchen remodel.
Yeah,
like
that hole.
It's defective. Sending it back.
It was an old hole that you started.
An old hole. You know they say old hole, old soul. So if you enjoy these cabinet talk, make sure to smash that subscribe button. I just spilled water over my crotch.
Yeah,
this night. What else can happen?
Every other week.
That's what happens when you smash the button. You get water on your crotch.
All right. What should you want?
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of trials and tribulations of life. All right. Let's talk about the Wonder Years. That's our first show. The Wonder Years.
There. How do you
Let's talk about a show that featured, I think, prominently the first stereotypical Jew. Maybe not the first. I'm sure there were many more. But Paul the nerd in the Wonder Years. Really coming in there with I'm allergic to everything Jewness.
They didn't really make him so Jewy
Future
in
Mort
the first
Goldman
episode.
Yeah, they made him exception. What are you talking about, Don? He was literally like, I'm
It's not like he's lighting
meatloaf.
Hanukkah candles or anything.
I can't. I had to go inside and scrape my knee. Well, that's coming. Don't worry. That's the holiday episode, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, he was eating ham, I think.
He was not eating ham. He
allergic to salad. I don't know.
He was eating white bread, which was unleavened.
I don't get.
Or leavened?
Yeah.
Leavened.
I guess so.
Which is the one you can't eat?
Like yeast?
Leavened.
It depends what time of the year it is.
Well, it's not. Let's say he's on Lent. Just kidding.
Yeah. If he's on Lent, then
for sure.
He's the meat he's supposed to eat is none.
None? Like he's just supposed to stalk and kill nuns from the Catholic Church?
Yes, exactly.
I feel like Israel's going to get an even worse reputation if they start doing that. Beyond what's happening. So Wonder Years, I watched this show growing up.
Meat.
Beyond meat. Beyond none.
I did too. I thought it was a great show. Watching it again, I thought, wow, I didn't even realize how great it was when I was a youth as I was watching it again as an adult.
Rico, you don't look impressed.
I mean, it was. I guess you have to look at it through the spectrum of the 80s when there was like two other TV channels.
I think it's a show from the 90s.
No, I think it was the 80s.
No, it was the 90s.
I don't know, man. It makes more sense if it's the 80s looking back because they talk about Nam a lot. I think 90s you're already past the point where people are looking back at Nam and appreciating it.
It was set in the 60s, but it was. I thought it was in the 80s.
This was like the boomer fodder. These were all the people that grew up in that era were watching their childhoods over again. The way that they overlaid all the music, and it was just like watching the Forrest Gump movie but watching a kid version of the show.
Yeah, you know what? That's a pretty good comparison. I like that. It is like watching Forrest Gump a little bit because you're reliving these historical moments and iconic music. I mean, look, the Wonder Years. What would you do if I sang? That song is iconic, and as a lot of the music in it. But let me ask you this: speaking of songs and music and volume, did you notice watching the show, because it's on Hulu, that the volume on it was so fucking low, you have to jack it way up in order to hear anything they're saying, and then you change it to anything else you're streaming, and the volume blasts your eardrums out. It's one of the things that pisses me off about streaming.
Well, I think when that show was made, they didn't make it with the high quality audio sound to it.
We watched like Sanford and Son and Love Boat, and there was no problem with the volume. It's the way these assholes upload crap. They're why are you uploading it at a terribly low volume? So I have to turn my volume to 75% max on the TV in order to hear it.
I'll tell you why they did that. Because they had to loop in old music from the 60s, which didn't have a high fidelity quality to it. So they kept the sound of the show at the same speed of the music that they were playing.
This Phil sounds Spector like someone
over here talking about sound production.
I know. So I've done one. I've edited a video or two. So they kept it consistent with the audio quality that they had of the music, so that it would have a consistent sound with it. And then they also were showing all that war footage, which they had old quality. And if you look at it, they also shot it from a very kind of old looking perspective. In the 90s they had better cameras, but I think they tried to look,
that's intentional.
They try to make it look really old, I think, to play to
like
the audience
your home
of
video
that time
that you're watching.
Which they
Christmas Vacation when he's in the attic, watching the old grainy footage. Wonder Years 1988 to 1993.
Told you to start in the 80s.
Might have just been the technology they had.
Yeah, but they definitely, I agree. They definitely like made it look older. And by the way, I wanted to mention this. Do you know who does the voiceover for, aka the narration for the Wonder Years?
I do.
The White Bandit. Oh, you guys know. I didn't think you know. Yeah.
No.
That's right. Dennis Stein, I think, or
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern.
I was watching it with my wife, and she goes, I love this show. She was watching it with me. And I go, that's the voice of the guy from City Slickers. And she goes, no, it's not. And then she looks it up and goes, yes, it is. You are right.
It is.
I go, that's the dude from City Slickers.
That's who you would describe Daniel Stern from. That's interesting.
Yeah, not Home Alone. He likes slicking and he likes cities. What can he say? He's not Don, despite being literally the kid from Home Alone in his everyday life.
I like that he's a grocer.
Don's just home alone every day, setting booby traps until his wife comes home from work.
I think
associates more with City Slickers, despite having moved to the country from the city.
He works in a grocery store in that character, and then my wife also worked in a grocery store. That's why I said it.
Yep, the mind works in funny and fascinating ways.
You have to infiltrate it how you go.
Grocery store,
yeah, exactly.
Bring home a ham.
People remember things in weird ways. You have to get in there like a worm.
Yeah. Well, it's good that Daniel Stern's still working. Fred Savage is not. He was canceled.
I think he
was in a commercial, wasn't he?
I think he was just in a courtroom.
Yeah, he was not. He was definitely in trouble. Fred Savage canceled.
Yeah, he was like touching on boobs or something.
So he was fired as executive producer of the Wonder Years reboot after investigation into alleged inappropriate conduct. So apparently he had perceived negative behavior, but that was enough. That was enough to like get him fired. I can't find anything more. It's just misconduct.
It was a Me Too time, I think. It was like early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got Me Too'd.
He's like, he sidles up to some PA and he's like, what would you do if I fingered your hole? Would you go and rat out to me on the producers?
Wait, would
you tweet about me on the internet?
Wasn't that what I just saw him? Was he in the new Deadpool?
Might be as a joke. I mean, I haven't seen
remember.
it.
I did see it.
Too.
We're
I
not.
swear I just saw him in something.
We're not reviewing
Probably that.
movies. This is a.
Well, we were talking about
show.
city slickers because your wife worked in a grocery store.
I know.
So why not?
A seamless transition.
Yeah,
John Odermatt level seamless transition.
I was married to dead Ryan Reynolds, so it could be a good.
Don was Blake Lively before Blake Lively. She
true.
actually single white female Don. That's what nobody really understands about Blake Lively. Don was originally married to Ryan Reynolds, and Blake Lively came in and replaced him, stealing his identity.
We were so happy together. I loved it.
He seems so funny and so kind.
He was.
So, by the way, this
nothing
show
like
also,
our relationship, Brian.
two Cooper facts. Two Cooper facts from the show. So one of the characters in the show is Winnie Cooper. Fun fact about Winnie Cooper: my first wank was to Winnie Cooper when I was a young boy.
Fantastic.
Which Winnie Cooper? Like
This
with
was not
the
this year.
glasses and the pigtails, or like when?
I think when I was a young lad, of
She
12
looked
or
pretty-
13,
She was pretty.
when she
in that
debuted
first
in her fishnets and sexy go-go dancer gear as referred to on the show, I think that's what did it for me as a 13-year-old boy. I was like, oh, Winnie. She, by the way, went on to become like an astrophysicist, and which is great for her. In today's world, she would have gone on to make an OnlyFans. Now, one of these would have been better for me theoretically, but probably better for the world back then.
I imagine the astrophysicist way is you want to go because you're very concerned about the way that the stars are shaping and all that celestial nonsense.
I'm worried about an asteroid hitting the Earth, so I'm glad Winnie Cooper is on it. Gwendolyn Cooper.
Gwendolyn. She wants to be called
Gwendolyn
now.
I don't know that that's a name you'd want to go to in junior high. It seems.
Yeah.
You would
I'm no longer known as
name.
Winnie.
Well, Winnie the Pooh. You don't need Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie. Well,
I don't know. Whatever. Who cares?
But if you're boys in the hallway, you'd look at Winnie Cooper and you go, look at Winnie the Cooper's pooper. That's good stuff.
If only they had that kind of humor in the 80s. He would have ruled that school.
it would have to be.
I'll go back. Hello, fellow kids.
In the late 60s.
Well, you're about the same age as the kid next to Kevin at a locker.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like, okay, this kid's in 7th grade. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a 20-year-old
like
beating up this kid.
What is it called? A 5 o'clock shadow? I don't know.
Yeah, 7th grade with a 5 o'clock shadow. Well, so that was one Cooper fact. Winnie Cooper was my first jerk as a young boy. Second Cooper fact, her brother gets sent to Vietnam and dies. And what's her brother's name?
Daryl?
Brian Cooper.
Brian Cooper.
We all
why
know.
you became friends?
Yep. Well, maybe Donnie doesn't know. One of my good friends is named Brian Cooper that went to Penn State with me and Rico. And I totally forgot. So I texted him. I was like, hey, Brian, did you know that you died in Vietnam? He's like, no, I conveniently blocked that out from the Wonder Years. Watching it.
You knew what you were talking about?
He did. Yeah.
How the fuck did he? No wonder you're friends. No one else would be like, what?
Because he's Jewish. He had to watch because it had the first Jewish nerd in it. And if you're Brian Cooper and there's a Jewish nerd in a TV show, how are you not going to watch?
Like it's someone like me. Hooray.
So, yeah.
It's all about representation.
They killed the wrong Brian Cooper.
If we could see him, we could be him. That's how it works.
Tell him that every day.
I wish it was you, Coop. I wish it was you. I sent him a picture of the cool smoking guy with a Camaro on blocks. Should have been you.
Oh, man. I wish I had that car. That was a badass car. I'd put it together.
Worked on it every day, but never ran. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah.
Must not have been very good.
Oh, there you go. Hey, loser. You don't know shit. Let's get you in the front line of the Vietnam War. And next thing you know, he's dead. He's like, couldn't even build a car. Couldn't even shoot a gun.
Terrible. So. Fucking Vietnam, man. Not to bring us down. We never want to bring back smoking in shows. Big Brother looked cool smoking. But also,
I say that guy did look really cool, man. He was
so
like
cool.
Super thin with his white t-shirt. I'm like, I can't even get a shirt that fits me these days. I don't know how they got that.
Well, you gotta start
Gotta
smoking, man. Lose the pounds.
Man.
But yeah, Vietnam, what a bitch. And you know what they learned? You know what the people guiding the country learned from Vietnam? Absolutely nothing.
I think we learned we like Asian chicks from it.
Well, yeah.
yeah. Right on.
All right.
Speaking of,
I keep getting older. It's like
yeah.
Asian chicks are the same as it's literally from
man.
Days of Confused. I keep getting older and they just look or are the same age.
Yeah, I can't tell, man. They just keep bringing me one ton.
There's only a billion of them. Giggity.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, this show takes place, as we said, during the Vietnam War. Kevin is the lead. It is Fred Savage. Perfect casting. He's got an older brother, Wayne, who was the perfect asshole big brother. Yeah. The dad is like, I mean, he's not like Larry Zonka or anything, or the dad from Webster, but he kind of has that feel to him. He's like a big gruff guy, doesn't talk. The mom is a typical doting housewife, but the dad was great. When Kevin had a great line I wrote down. The dad walks in the house and sits down, and Kevin goes, Dad worked for us. He provided for us. He shouldn't have to talk to us. And he goes, I waited to talk to Dad until after his first vodka tonic.
Yeah,
those are the days. Mom, I'm just handing him a vodka tonic as he's sitting at the table.
As soon as he walks in. What was his job? Did they ever say?
I don't think. I think maybe the auto plant, but I don't know.
He just had a lot of rough days at there.
Button-down shirt.
Yeah,
maybe he's in management.
I think he worked in somebody's brain because he looked like the guy from the
Herman's Head.
The Disney movie where it's like
myself
all those different people.
I got to blow my nose. I saw a snot on like.
Yeah. Maybe he was a detective, right? Like with
definitely wasn't a detective.
Short sleeve shirt. Salesman
protector in there.
Yeah, and he sold like cars or blenders.
They acted like he had the toughest job ever, but he's home at 5 o'clock and he starts drinking.
Well, and also,
his wife makes him a gin and tonic.
I'm like,
that's the best.
No one hands me a drink when I get home. No one's cooking me dinner.
You have a son, Rico. He make him do it.
Oh,
teach him to bartend. Then when you move to LA, he can make more than I make.
Yeah. Why don't you
bartending?
Actually, maybe I'll just get bartending.
That's what my wife does to me. I make all the drinks.
I could probably do bartending while I do my other job.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I don't know why I'm not. I can send emails while I bartend. What am I doing?
And my dream job was always to be a strip club DJ.
And I could bartend while I'm sending emails.
Coming to the stage, Big Dong Johnson. He comes from
not a male strip club, but sometimes I guess maybe you have to pay your dues, and that's where you.
Rico gives him 4 out of 5 boners.
Here comes
Rico says, boner up, ladies. It's dollar dance.
Sorry. That's our OnlyFans review podcast. We're switching it.
Forthcoming soon.
I would do it for a quarter. Boner dance.
What?
A quarter ounce of cocaine.
Quarter chub.
Yeah. Whatever they throw at me, it's fine. I'm just waving it at your face.
Just exercise.
Yeah, I'm just having a good time. This is a public pool.
So Kevin gets in trouble for his brother teases him, and Winnie Cooper sits with him at the table, and he's like, I don't even like her, and he runs away because he's embarrassed, and then he throws an apple, which gets him in trouble in the principal's office, and they call the parents, and this is something you see in all these shows, both parents in the principal's office in the middle of the day.
Yeah, how important could his dad's job be that he left work because his son threw a fucking apple?
I mean, if my school called me and was like, your son threw an apple, you need to come in, I'd be like, why don't you shove that apple right up your fucking ass?
Go pick up
and get back to work. Don't call me unless my kid kills somebody. Like,
how'd you get my number?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like how many? Call me when he throws
my
8
tax
apples.
dollars paid for that apple.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck. Both mom and dad are there sitting. Like he has to take off work.
If he hit Wayne with the apple. That's what I was hoping for.
That would have been great.
Like,
And he just gets the crap
pegs
kicked out
his
of him.
brother right in the fucking head because he's a
You could
dick.
just roll
awesome.
the apple back in there too, less aggressively. I wonder if that would have had a different outcome if you just rolled it in there. It goes, here's
Just
your
placed
apple
it
back."
inside because the principal told me he couldn't bring the apple into the hallway. Right? He runs out
No.
with an apple. The principal stops him. Hey, you see that sign? No food outside the cafeteria. And little Kevin Arnold goes through his head all the different things to do and say, and then he does what Brian Cooper would have done. Which, if he was really doing what Brian Cooper would have done, he would have been to lie on the floor dead with a Vietcong bullet in him. But he didn't know at the time, so he throws an apple back into the
What if it was
cafeteria
friendly
instead.
fire? I'm sure that happened.
Oh, maybe.
Could have been, right? Or like a bad grenade throw.
He
like
pretends to
apple.
bite the apple, and he's like,
Yeah.
fire in the hole, and it ricochets off the glass back to his hands.
Could be.
Anyway, poor Brian
There was a
Cooper.
pretty cool wrestler, like 10 years. He's still around, actually. His gimmick was he would come down to the ring with an apple, take a bite, and spit it in his opponent's face.
He
Pretty
just
cool,
hold
I
it in his
liked
mouth the whole time until that happens?
No,
Was
he'd
it
walk
Johnny
down to the
Appleseed?
ring with an apple in his
Right.
hand,
Right.
and he would he'd get in the ring.
What was his name?
Carlito.
Oh, and none of his opponents ever got wise that this was going to
I
happen?
mean, eventually they did, but it was
Yeah.
when he was
12, 15
wrestling
matches
the
in.
jobbers. You know, they
Did
didn't know. They didn't have time to
The
scout.
opponents brought like a pot of soil so that if he spit at them, they could then just plant the apple core.
I don't.
One
think it
awesome
was.
guy should have had melted caramel in his mouth, and he spits the apple, and he just opens it up. And he's like, oh, blah, blah.
Thank you. I don't think I want to
I'm
wrestle
the,
after eating a caramel apple.
I'm the
But-
apple boy.
Kevin should have done that. Just take a bite of the apple and spit it back in the lunchroom. There it is.
There you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, here's
So-
your apple, a-hole.
All right, so moving this forward, because we're already 27 minutes in here.
No.
So Kevin,
You
he
forgot
goes to
a
gym
great.
class.
Hold on. You forgot
I
a
had a
great
cabinet
scene
store.
at the. Why does Don keep going? What do you have? Light keeps going off. I don't know. It's weird. But,
I think 'cause I keep
Oh, it's because, yeah, he says you're backlit with that stupid lamp.
But when they're sitting around the table when the dad gets home and having his first vodka tonic, that's when the daughter decides to tell him, I think I'm going to get on birth control.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you telling your dad this ever? Unless you need him to sign something for the pharmacy,
Right.
that's something you should just keep to yourself, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Seems
Or just
like
do anal sex. Those are your
She
two options.
wants her dad to
Yeah,
know
like
that
a-
she's putting
a woman.
out. She's here for a
I'm
good
putting
time,
out,
not a I'm
but-
putting out, Dad.
smartly.
Is the sister hot or not in this show? Because I've always been torn on her.
No, because she looks like a hippie.
Well, she's got kind of goof teeth. She kind of looks like if a rat became hot. Like a rat made a wish to be a woman. And
I
you're
would
like,
do
all
it.
right, you're gonna be a
Yeah.
7 out of 10 though. And she's like,
In
I'll
that
take it.
movie, I would do it. I'd be the guy that does the rat chick, and then she turns
make her
back
into
to
a
a
human?
rat.
So you're
Yeah,
just
and then I
fucking
go-
rats in movies?
But then I go back to my job at the hotel. Like I would be like, no, I'd be the bad guy that doesn't appreciate her as her human rat.
So wait,
form.
let me get this plot straight. So you're
Yeah.
gonna bang a rat to make her a human,
Yeah.
but then
Right.
go back to
No.
your job at the
Yeah.
hotel. I didn't know you had a job at the hotel to start. I don't know where
Yeah.
that came
No.
from.
Oh well. Where else would a rat come to a life? Right? She's got to be in a hotel
So
doing
you're gonna
something.
bang the rat,
Yeah.
but then when the rat becomes hot, you're no longer interested.
No, when
He's
I
like, I
find
can
out-
find a hotter
Yeah.
rat. I can find a
Yeah.
rat that's gonna be a hotter woman if I bang enough rats in this hotel.
There's
There's gotta
another
be one
guy
that's gonna be
in
a
the
10.
story that's gonna like her for who she is, right? I'm just the guy that likes her for the superficial
physical.
stuff. Yeah, and then there's the other guy that likes her for, oh, you're really this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like that guy in the middle of the story that's just like, oh, I work at the hotel and I like stuff and yeah, I like boobies. Mm.
I feel like it's gonna be hard to convince this rat woman after you fucked her and made her into a human to leave you alone, and that there's somebody better out there for her. I mean, you're kind of like the
Yeah.
glass slipper in the foot, man.
Yeah.
Like your dick's the foot, and her puss is the.
Well, I
rat
mean, you
slipper.
got to look at it from her perspective. If you were a rat woman and then someone fucked you as the rat woman
Yeah.
for you to become pretty, you'd be like, what's wrong with that fucking guy?
Yeah.
There's
Well,
definitely-
what about this? Wait.
definitely
Think about this.
a
What
part
if somebody
two
else
coming
fucks her?
through.
What if somebody else fucks this woman who's turned into a woman because you fucked a rat, and somebody else fucks her and she turns back into a rat because it's your magic dick that keeps her human? You think about that? You
Oh,
selfish
I-
asshole.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say she doesn't become a person immediately, but two people fuck her as a rat woman, so she doesn't know which one turned her.
Oh, you're doing group sex with this rat?
You have to do like a Maury Povich style.
who can turn rats into females?
No, you guys are getting way too gross. It's like more of like a Cinderella thing, where it's just like, oh yeah, you just take advantage of her when she's not a rat.
That'd be a weird talent to tell people about. Like, how'd you find this out? You'd be like, 1 in a million shot, Doc.
Yeah,
1 in a million shot.
I gotta get.
All right. So anyway, Kevin Arnold talking about jockstrap. The gym teacher presses on what a jockstrap is, and his answer is it sounds like every Kamala Harris answer to any question, which was entertaining. Just dancing around the issue and talking about the strap itself.
Unburdened by what has been.
Yep. And then Kevin Arnold gets the news, right? They hear about Brian Cooper dying, Winnie's brother, hot Winnie Cooper's brother. And he does have a crush on Winnie Cooper. So he finds her. He goes to the old climbing tree and he hopes that she's going to be there to say he's very sorry her brother died. And he gives her his jacket and they look into each other's eyes and he uses her trauma as a good time to slip her the first kiss of his life. And I said, good job.
In a row,
good job.
Incredibly traumatic event leads women to act out in some form of
Are you talking about American Gladiators last time?
No, Eric.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
The woman kidnapped, and then she went to bang the hot dog guy.
The soup Nazi.
As one does, I guess. I don't.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Arnold is not a strong figure in literature, so he needs the woman to be at her lowest so that he can go and appear.
Is this like Will Ferrell when he's doing the
go to funerals? Totally.
Exactly.
100%. It's 100% Kevin Arnold is the inspiration for Funeral Crashers and Will Ferrell. Also, like Kevin Arnold,
on a
the
good
voiceover
day,
was like,
she doesn't like me. On a bad day, I'm gold.
Well, that's like Kevin was
I'm
like,
normally
we never
a
talked
4
about
out of 10, but when they're grieving the loss of the loved one, that day I become like a 10.
Yeah.
He's also goes, we never spoke of that day again, but I think
Smart
we all
move.
remembered it. It's like, well, I'm sure she talked to her therapist about it for quite a long time.
I'm sure she remembered the day her brother died, Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you took advantage of her grief to slip her the old tongue.
Yeah.
Good job. And put her in and I think put her in a Jets jacket. Oh, insult to injury. But I guess in the 70s, the Jets were
69. Did they win the Super Bowl that year?
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. He's like, hey, that's a Super Bowl
like,
jacket.
It's so easy to win the Super Bowl. We'll probably do this every year.
Yeah.
Keep that jacket. I don't need it. We'll be here every year.
Yeah, my poor dad, who's mad at his job all the time, bought me this cool $100 jacket just as the Super Bowl team won.
All right, what do you give it? What grade?
Oh, this is an A. This is an A show. I mean, they did a great job. I think the way that they did the dual dialogue with the Daniel Stern telling the story as a narrator as you're watching the story. I think they kind of changed the format for a bit because there's other shows that copied it.
Yeah. I was trying to think of that. If there was another show that had narration like that, and I can't think of one.
At the time?
How I Met Your Mother.
I can't think of one before that time.
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother did it.
Yeah, it's got the same vibe.
Obviously.
Yeah, kind of set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like a B. I wasn't like super entertained. I think it was well done. The characters were developed and everything. I'm not super into it. It's not. I don't know. It's not a comedy really per se. It's more, I guess, a drama, right? More drama than comedy.
It's
coming of age
parts.
Yeah,
it's like a coming of age story
made for TV.
And I'm trying to, there's a lot of like cliche moments that struck me, but then I'm thinking, wait, is it cliche moment because they started it because it was like 30 years ago?
Well, exactly, yeah.
So it wasn't cliche at the time. It's been copied so many times since. So you got to look through the lens at the time it was made. But at the time, I wasn't that super into it either.
That's how she looks now.
I just want to show you. This is, as of 2019, what Miss Winnie Cooper looks like. And she is a mathematician.
Hasn't aged a day.
I mean,
that's great. I mean, if
she's winning at life, I'll say that much.
And if her mathematician skill is avoiding how to age, good job, because she looks great.
Not bad. All right, I agree. I'm an A. I give it an A. I think it's a great show. I loved every second of it.
Could be your first wank. Could be your last wank.
That should be like.
I like that on my deathbed.
You gotta have a lawyer. Like, get Winnie Cooper over here. She has to be the
Get her on
the
the
Alpha
phone.
and Omega.
Video chat me.
I just need her to touch the tip once.
I can't. My arms don't work, Sandy. Help me. I make my wife whack me one more time to Winnie Cooper.
Let's whack it out to her once every time. It'll be good. First and last.
That only once a week.
Flat time is a flat disc, my love.
I love you.
Okay, so sorry guys, fighting this cold. All right, moving on to The Frog. Not what I thought it would be. I will say it's a
was weird,
quote unquote thriller. The Koreans have a different definition of thrilling.
Boy, do they!
My United States understanding. I will say that.
Seems like a lot of buildup.
I've watched like at least 6 or 7 Korean TV series for some weird reason. They always have like bizarre concepts that are pretty interesting. This one, I'm like, what is going on here? I thought at first I'm like, is this the Shutter Island of Korean TV shows? I had no idea what was happening.
Me neither. Especially at the end when the guy becomes a retroactive hotel owning psychic.
I think the guy at the end was the guy at the beginning when he was young.
Well, yeah, wasn't it 2 different timelines? It was the same character, I thought.
So I'm with Rico on that. Like it's 2 different timelines, and you're seeing the one guy who's kind of collected now, but also weird.
Well, hold on. Let me set the stage here. We're getting too deep too quick. Let me set the stage here.
Okay.
So the show's called The Frog. It starts off with a guy, an older guy with glasses, strangling a bikini-clad girl in a pool. Which, by the way, I've never killed a woman or anybody for that matter. But if I was going to kill somebody, strangling somebody in a bikini, not bad. Just gonna say.
Why would you? She's already wearing a bikini. Leave her around.
I mean, if you're gonna kill somebody, it seems like a good target. Like a good way to do it.
Hideous uggo. You don't want to.
I don't want to kill some ugly person. I want to have like an attractive person in front of me.
No, I want the attractive person.
Want to kill an attractive person?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, look, if I'm going to kill somebody, I don't want to waste my time with, like, I don't want to stalk. If I'm going to kill somebody, unless it's spur of the moment, I figure I'm stalking them. Do you want to stalk an ugly person or a hot person?
No, but why would you want to kill the hot person?
Yeah,
I'm presuming that I do. Let's just presume I'm a serial killer, like in this show.
Yeah,
I hope one day this
build up to this
in court. Well, you're my lawyer, so you better figure it out.
Your Honor,
the woman is clearly a fugly.
He couldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it. I'd like to present the first episode podcast.
Notice the difference.
September 2024.
Her nose to her eyes. The spacing is too big. Nobody would think that's attractive. Clearly, nobody would kill her.
Did you know that the woman was hot at the beginning? Because he didn't really show her.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
She was hot because it looked like a good body. And
I'm adding
Asian.
Together that it's there. So anyway, it takes place. There's two different timelines here.
Apparently, nobody's fat in Korea.
Yeah, no one's fat in Asia. They don't eat.
Yeah, they're all fit.
Carl's Jr.
Yeah, exactly. And they walk more on bicycle. But so it's an odd show. It starts off with a murder in a pool. And there's these current guys that are renting out nice houses, like Airbnb style. And then there's this other side story that's the other half, which is an older hotel. And it's like what is it called? Like the Overlook Hotel or something like that. That's from The Shining. But
love view. I thought they were. So I was so confused, as I said, but I thought it was the same person, young and old.
Well,
Like,
you might be
because
right.
that
Yeah.
woman walked into the police station, who's the new chief, and it's fucking totally disrespected. And then it went in her box. It said first case 2001.
Yeah.
So then then I thought we jumped back in time where the guy who's wearing the blue shirt is now wearing the white shirt, and he's 30 years younger, whatever, 23 years younger.
Yeah, and he's got his wife who's dead in the current time.
And yeah, it's the synopsis said his wife died, but I don't think they ever explained how she died in the.
Not yet.
No,
we also haven't met his daughter. He didn't have a daughter in the old hotel, but he has a daughter now because the other old man he gets drunk with is talking about hooking his son up with his daughter.
Oh, right.
So that's the other thing. I'm like, I'm not sure. Like,
There's
is it supposed to be the same person or not? Yeah, it's confusing as shit.
Could the Koreans like the heavy dramatics where they're really into a soap opera and then they turn the soap opera into a murder mystery that it's like CSI soap opera.
You know what else they love? A lot of hotel talk. A lot of detailed towels, pool cleaning talk, laundry talk.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's like a lot of
there was a good 10 minutes of laundry talk on this show, minimum.
Yeah, the guy teaches you how to take care of a pool.
Every day you got to clean the pool.
Every day?
When he was older, and the guy that he was hanging out, was that like his boss, or who the fuck was that guy?
I thought at first it was his boss, but it's just his neighbor he's buddies with. That's why I was like, why isn't he helping him clean the pool? Like,
I think that's the guy that he's the guy that owns the property, I think. So maybe
I think they're just neighbors, and they own because they both are renting out houses. The one guy's wasn't ready, so the other guy took them, and I think they're like similar properties. So they just swapped one for the other. They built two houses that are the same, and they're mirror properties, is my guess.
And they're gonna rent them out for,
for Airbnb stuff. But then they have the old hotel, which again we're trying to figure this show out. So apologies to everybody. Which a couple runs, and a serial killer breaks down on the road, or they think he's stopped, and he goes and stays in the hotel. But the guy's so nice to him, and he tells him, the serial killer goes, "Oh, you're very nice." And he doesn't murder him, but ends up bringing a dead person in and chopping her up and leaving her in the hotel in numerous bits and pieces. And one of the most bizarre scenes, again, I'm starting to figure out what the fuck is going on in this show. The guy walks through and sees the killer walking around the hotel in hindsight psychic vision as if he's in a dream following him. And it's like,
because he was asleep. He sees himself.
He was asleep on the desk.
Desk.
That's why I think that was in the past. That's where I.
But it was also in the past. It was like a day later.
Yeah.
In the past.
He's
so he
reliving
was still young. It was just like a few hours later. He's like, "Oh my God, I was asleep yesterday when this serial killer walked through the hallway with this dead person." And he was like reliving it in his mind, how it probably happened and where he was. He was asleep at the desk. And so the serial killer just like walked right on by.
This show is wacky. I guess
no one else is staying in the hotel, I guess. How do they make money? They have one guest at a time.
I know. He's like, business was good. And I was like,
that's what I think. There's two different
timelines
going on.
They had like three girls have, left.
Property taxes or anything back then.
Probably not.
No, North Korea's taking all the property taxes.
Those are the good old days when Korea was Korea. One Korea.
One Korea, one murder.
Kim Jong-un. I don't know. Yeah. So then I don't know who the woman detective is, but she must have been the younger woman detective on the old time frame, and that was like
the one
her
he pushed in the bush.
Yeah.
The one that got a phone call. Talk about a real dynamite bang up policewoman. Gets a phone call, somebody going, oh, and then they hung up. And she's like, well, what's for lunch?
Yeah. No, and we got to go.
You don't want to figure out where that call came from? No interest?
No need. No need.
No.
Must have been a wrong
And
number.
Meanwhile, we know what's for lunch. It's noodles. The whole show, they're eating noodles.
A lot of noodles.
It's always
Lot
noodles
of
for
noodles.
lunch. Yeah. I
Lot
love
of
noodles. But
Me
if I
too.
lived
Me too. And I love Korean
Yeah.
barbecue.
I'd be
But-
like, hey, I already know it's for lunch. It's noodles. Or if not noodles, it's probably rice.
Or a
Wow.
noodle-based substance reconstituted noodles into a flatter noodle.
Yes. Or chopped up into little rice bits.
That's also a thing.
But
or intestines.
some slimy to go on those noodles.
Sorry, we're out of noodles today. All we've got is pig intestines. So it goes.
What's for dinner today? Slime.
Various things you have to slurp. All right,
Thank
let's
you.
go.
I'll commit murder at the hotel instead.
No.
So then in the current time frame, he finds some woman spinning her tires out on the road, and he somehow gets it out easily, but she couldn't. But Asian women drivers.
I mean, come on.
Forget about it.
What are the odds that they would be able to drive?
Can't believe they give them licenses out there.
But she's apparently, she's got some secrets because she's number one, a smoker. And that means something. And number two, goes into and this is current day, by the way. So she stays at the house and she sees a record player. And I love this part. I wrote it down. I loved it so much. She's like, hey, does that record player work? And he's like, yeah. So he takes her into the garage basement and he's like, oh, my wife used to love these. Do you have any songs or artists you like? And she's like, no. Like, not a one, nothing.
I just like
you want to hear?
things that
You just wanna-
I've never really listened to music before.
You just want me to turn the record player on? You just want to listen to the record scratch on it? You fucking
She
idiot.
goes, those play records?
Yeah, right? Like, what the fuck? Nothing? So he puts on the song that's been in this. It's like, I don't know, like a bluesy tune. Everybody would know it. Classic bluesy tune. And we find out later, like this record's playing and, she's hanging out. And we find out later, oh, God, sorry, guys. We find out later that he goes after this murder happens in the past. The guy who we suspect is the same person goes and takes the record off the player. And he passes this broad. She's smoking on the side of the road and there's blood on the record. We don't see her kid, which is what I suspect may be tied in. This point.
Yeah, that seems to be what the manhunt seems to be about afterwards.
Yeah.
The kid might be missing.
He has a little son that he was playing with and fixed his little toy dog. But there's blood on the bottom of the record when he puts it back in the record slip.
Ooh.
So seems like a careless thing to get blood all over a record and just flip the record over and be like, it'll be fine.
I don't know how those records work.
Women murder as well as they drive in Asia.
It's like if you get blood on the couch cushion, you just flip the couch cushion over.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Same with the record.
Yeah,
Yep.
Makes sense.
Flip
No
it
one
over.
ever
The
knows.
blood will make it sound good.
That's I say that phrase, flip the record, right?
Yeah.
That's
Flip
where
it.
turn the page, flip the record. Yeah, that's where it comes
Turn
from.
around every now and then you have a Korean murder someone to get blood on your record player.
Korean one was pretty hot, if I remember.
She was hot, but she had kind of a dump ass.
Yeah.
I like
She
Go back
maybe it was
and
just
rewatch.
bad fitting pants. She got out of the car. She got a hot face, but she got out of the car, and I was like, "That's a dumpy ass." Like,
That's a dumpy
That
ass.
gym woman.
literally, she has like that like hot, thin, doesn't work out body, like hot face, but like just eats nice, but doesn't ever actually work out. Like she's got no badonk
Tone.
Like
to fill those pants out.
made of chopsticks.
Join a girl Korean pop band for a few years so you learn how to fill that booty out dancing. That's all I have to say. They've got camps for this type of thing. Do you think in Korea, instead of like, not to bring up Nazi Germany in a positive way, because that's never a good idea, but what if Korea had pop camps for their people? Like they have to.
I like it.
Like
Yeah.
the Israelis, you're forced to join the military, and in Korea, you're forced to join the military, I think, too. Why do they have forced pop dance camps to keep your ass?
It's called the squat camps, where you're just basically doing 1,000 squats a day.
The K-Corps, the K-pop corpse.
Squat them out. Maybe a little push-ups too.
Squat 'em.
Get them titties nice and firm.
Yeah, right. Get him perky.
Squat 'em out. I like that. It's a new song.
Probably not a good idea to massively make women exercise just so they're more appealing to our physical.
Not a good idea.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Not a good idea.
I don't see anything wrong
Advertise
with
it.
it.
I mean, I'm all for it, but
It sounds like the only idea.
Oh yeah.
There's no other ideas.
I'm a
That's
fan
it.
of
When
this.
Sports
only
Illustrated, we
idea.
have the 50th consecutive cover of Sports Illustrated with a morbidly obese or elderly woman on it. I think our only option is
if there's any ladies that
forced,
want to join the show and do squats and push-ups,
Do you think a woman has ever listened to this show? Any of the episodes? I don't know if a person, a human being.
Chelsea. I think Chelsea still listens. She just doesn't.
not
watch
the
it.
whole episode. I imagine we might get him for like a minute or two. And
Oh,
then
like,
they're
what
just
am I listening to?
We're not an overly
And
sexist
then Brian
podcast.
talks about
We
his
were
first
far
jerk
more
off, and I'm
sexist
like,
when we did a
Yeah.
podcast specifically talking about reality shows. We had 1 billion times the listeners, most of whom are women, and we were way more sexist on that show. But they liked it because they didn't like the women we were talking about, so it worked.
1
Now
billion
they like-
times more. Well, we probably
We should
should
go
have
back to
monetized
it.
that.
God damn it, we had a great concept, and you guys fucked it up because you didn't want to watch the terrible shows.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
soul sucking.
It was
Terrible
so-
people watching terrible shows.
It was a great idea, though.
I thought.
Had a hit.
I think that one girl, who's a horrible girl from the Hampton show. I think she has like a
Leslie.
Netflix special or something. I swear I
she does,
saw.
like, the quote unquote stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Chelsea? Kelsey?
No,
Yeah, she's a piece of shit. I don't care. Fuck her.
I,
She's a
Yeah,
piece of
yeah.
garbage. Yeah, she
No,
did.
we're
She had a
going
Netflix special. It made me furious. She is trash. She does comedy for 2 years because, I mean, look, I don't want to talk bad about women, but if you're following her comedy, you're
it would be the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's like it
This is
irrevocably
a safe
stupid.
safe space. You can
Like
Yes.
who Hawk Tula girl had a podcast. She got paid a lot of money to do, and I think it's now gone.
Well, I
What
think
is she going to talk? What? Why? Who wants to hear her talk about
She
what?
was Israeli asset, from what I'm reading.
Hawk Twa was Hawk Twa.
Yes. Mhm.
So are they going to roll out like for the pagers, exploding pagers in people's pants? They're like, I hawked 2 of those pagers, and they're like, oh, all's
Maybe.
forgiven.
I didn't know people still had pagers. That's incredible.
I don't think there will after this.
Well, again, Rico, they had VHS tapes until I think last
I
year.
know. I got rid of my DVD player just to be safe.
Don, you're on the killing side. You don't worry about it. You're
Oh,
on the
yeah,
Jew
no.
side.
Oh gosh. Can you imagine? This is like the most hilarious thing I've ever heard.
It's
pretty-
I don't want it. I don't want to
Oh.
on this podcast. We'll save it for a
This is-
political podcast. By the way,
Okay.
Don,
Sure.
you're gonna come on our politics podcast.
Oh, cool. I accept.
I'll bring you in. I'll bring you in on that.
Nice.
All right. Anyway, so at the end, I don't even know why the guy's like, yeah, they call us frogs. And I'm like, okay,
But who's
Yeah,
the frog?
they're-
I don't
yeah.
understand who,
I don't understand it.
I,
don't
no,
get it.
who calls
think
who frogs and why.
Well, the reason I brought this show up was I thought it was going to be the concept of frogging, which is, as I explained earlier, hiding in
Yeah.
someone's house without them knowing and living there, and just being a creep in their attic.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is in a certain way. Like that's what it means in Asian cultures. Like you're frogging, you're hiding in plain sight, you're doing weird shit. There's more to this show. I think.
I'm guessing something different. I'm going to guess
Yeah.
it means you're a frog because you are boiling in the water without knowing it.
Interesting.
That's my guess for the frog, is that they're boiling in
Interesting.
water not knowing it.
Okay.
Or as they say in Asian cultures, hot pot.
They say, please come
Or
again.
shabu shabu.
Shabu shabu. Or how do I say throwing a shrimp in my hat?
Untied. No, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest though. This show, I'll give my analysis first for the frog. Even though I was the whole time like, what is happening, and how much are they going to talk about hotel management in this show? I also kind of want to watch the next episode. It's kind of got me. I'm kind of it fucking hooked me, and I don't know why or how. I've been
know
mind
why.
fucked by this show.
I'm the same way. I was so confused. I'm like, I need someone to explain it to me. The only way to be explained it is to watch more and hope the next episode is really kind of genius. They're like, we're gonna make people watch.
It's
figure out
so
what
fucking
the fuck
retarded. It's so Korean. I can't not watch the next episode. I have to watch it.
Yeah, maybe Korean TV is different than our American TV, where they go, "We've got an episode to tell you a story." They go, "No, we're just gonna give you like half of the first episode in an hour, and then you just have to watch the rest because we just don't know how to tell stories."
You're so intrigued by your own confusion.
I'm
in. I'm gonna watch the next episode.
Like, this is
too.
terrible,
and it's limited. Unlike
up.
Eric, which, as we discussed, was a bad show and is open-ended. This is a limited series, so it's gonna start and an end. That's like whatever, 6 or 8 episodes. Like, we're in and we're out. I'm in. I'm gonna watch it.
The show seems like there's a superhero or a ninja that's supposed to show up that never does.
That's the frog.
It's just
it's just a frog that flies into people's
What is going
eyeballs.
on? What is happening? Where's this frog?
All right, so I'll tell you my grade. I give it a B-, and it doesn't deserve it, but it got, like I said, it got me. I'm in. I'm gonna watch the next episode. So
yeah, I'm gonna give it a C because I've seen so many first episodes of things that are weird. I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to this one. If you do, let me know what you see, because maybe I'll upgrade it to a B+ or a B afterwards if anything cool happens.
All right, Rico.
What do you got, Rico?
I'm gonna go with a C too, but a C with a lean towards a B+.
Well, see, I originally had a C+, but I'm like, I'm gonna watch the next episode. I can't give it anything less than a B if I'm gonna watch the next episode. Like, it got me.
Every other show have to be not working, and then this show would have to work, and then I'd be like, all right, I'll see what's happening. But I don't think Netflix works that way. I think if I can watch one show, I can watch them all.
I'm telling you. It's got me. Rivet.
I'm gonna watch it instead of this boring ass football game. I'll tell you that.
Oh, what's the score?
14-3.
Yes, Jets. Let's go. I bet on the Jets and the under.
Hey,
doubled up, baby.
That's Kevin Arnold's team.
Yeah, let's go. Let's give me some Winnie Cooper to kiss when they win. I'm gonna call her up tonight.
Right.
I'm gonna call her tonight and be like, hey, is this Winnie Cooper? It says your real name is. I'll have to Google it. They're like, so anyway, the Jets are winning. I saw Kevin kiss you with the Jets jacket on. Anyway, so when I die, can I whack it to you?
Yeah.
Can we do some mathematics here?
Odds of that? Yeah.
I'm 45. I figure in 43 years I'll be dying. What are you going to be up to? Put your calendar.
You give your heart a lot more credit than I do.
Dude.
Yeah, I know. Brian's gonna be 108.
88.
Yeah, dude, I'll live way long. I'll live way longer than that. I'll outlive either of you.
You gotta keep drinking. You better
let's do a tontine. Let's do a tontine. Let's get a safe. Let's hide it in the woods. We'll fill it with artwork. Whoever lives longest gets it. We'll have 3 keys. I guarantee I'll win.
You are in. I'm in. Let's do it.
Don's in. Rico?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. We're going to need you, the first episode podcast listeners, to listen, share, like, subscribe to the show so we can afford to buy our tontine. And honestly, if you want to, tweet at us at Brian McWilliams or at First Episode Pod has like no listeners or followers on Twitter. I put no effort into it. But you can tweet at me at Brian McWilliams and let me know what you want us to put in the tontine.
Tontine.
If you have any fine works of art you'd like to donate, that'd be even better. Gold. Jewelry from your family, still a ring.
If anyone
from your
donates
wife.
Gold, I'm definitely not putting it in the tontine. I'm just going to use it for myself.
Brian's just stealing your
That's going into the tontine.
Possessions now.
It's going to the tontine. Everything's going to the tontine.
Send
All right,
us
so
your
next
trash.
episode.
I got a good one. I got a good one for a new show.
All right, well, because we have our old show, which is as established Most Extreme Elimination Challenge
on YouTube.
It's on. I think it's on like Tubi.
Oh, Tubi.
What's the new show,
Tubi.
Rico? I'm going to put it into our spreadsheet right now for the First Episode podcast.
Well, I just saw a preview for it, and I do want to watch it anyways. The Penguin.
Oh, on HBO.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, that sounds cool.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know it was a show coming out on HBO.
Yeah, I think
All right,
actually
I'll watch
just
the
premiered
Part of
Penguin.
the DC universe, right?
Colin
Yeah.
Farrell is gonna be in it again.
Okay, look at you. You're going real Comic
I
Con.
thought he was
reviews.
good as the Penguin. So, all right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so next episode, guys, in 2 weeks, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, and new show on HBO Max, The Penguin. There you go. All right,
Well done,
anybody
everybody.
final words? Anything to add in to wrap the show up? Don, go ahead. Give your signature sign off.
It was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!